Garazeb Orrelios, or Zeb for short, was a pivotal figure amongst the crew of the Ghost, yet despite having extensive military training, he very rarely spoke about the events of his past. So what exactly drove Zeb from his homeworld, and how did he become a member of the Spectres? Well, let's find out. Welcome to the Crusade Star Wars Lore Episode 177, the backstory of Garazeb Orrelios. Born in 44 BBY on the Outer Rim world of the Zan, Garazeb Orrelios was large and brutish, yet sensitive and empathetic. Such an unusual balance of characteristics derived from his days as a captain of the Honor Guard, where he exhausted every second of his military training to protect the royal family and common people of the Zan. Unfortunately, he and his fellow soldiers failed to prevent a brutal imperial attack upon their homeworld, one which wiped out most of the Lizat bloodline. Zeb was one of the lucky ones, in that he somehow managed to survive. However, the constant nightmares and sheer regret wasn't much of a silver lining. At least the destruction of the Zan gave him a new purpose in life: payback. With a drive to defeat the Empire at all costs, and given his military background, Zeb quickly attracted the attention of a small band of rebel fighters. In fact, so impressed were they of his natural agility, athleticism and strength that they made him an offer to join their ranks. Zeb eagerly accepted, making him a proud member of the Spectres by the age of 39. Lizat quickly grew accustomed to his new surroundings, despite his brutally honest opinions and impulsiveness, the latter of which actually led to a sporadic gambling problem, which at one point left him in debt to Lando Calrissian. Thankfully, Zeb's fellow crew members were all too willing to help him out, though that shouldn't paper over the cracks of their initial relationship together. Sure, he got along well with Kanan Jarrus, Hera Syndulla and Sabine Wren, but Zeb was not particularly fond of Chopper, nor was he overjoyed by the fact he had to share a bunk with Ezra Bridger aboard the Ghost. Yet the pair managed to overcome their turbulent and sibling-like rivalry slowly but surely as time passed, and the theft of a TIE fighter in the town of Cathal certainly proved to be a positive milestone in Zeb and Ezra's relationship. Whilst engaging stormtroopers in hand-to-hand combat and all-out firefights became one of his favourite pastimes, Zeb refused to use the Empire's own brutal weapons against them. However, when he discovered that ISB agent Kallus was in fact the mastermind behind the savage attack on his homeworld, he couldn't help but enact revenge. Now it's time for this week's question. I've asked before who your favourite member of the Ghost is, but let's mix things up a little. Who is your favourite non-human crew member? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to vote for next week's episode by participating in the card poll on screen now. Also, to have your say in future lore videos, head on over to thecarguzans.com and get voting. If you learned something new from today's video, be sure to leave a like. And for weekly lore content, press that subscribe button and notification bell to keep it locked here to the Crusades.